Spot reduction is the belief that fat loss can be localized by training problem areas directly. For example, doing crunches to reduce belly fat. This has been perpetuated by mainstream media throughout the years, through influential figures in the fitness industry, such as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger was a proponent of this idea, and these ideas were further popularized to the general population through magazines, interviews, and books. An example of which being Schwarzenegger's 1977 book, Arnold, the Education of a Bodybuilder. The notion of spot reduction seemed to be backed up by research in the 60s. A study in 1965 seemed to indicate that spot reduction was possible as a reduction in abdominal fat and waist circumference was observed after a 6-week protocol involving isometric abdominal exercises in women. Another study in 1968 concluded that spot reduction was possible after 32 participants completed a 6-week training protocol on the arms. This study consisted of bicep curls and tricep extensions that were done for 3 sets of 7 rep maxes for 6 days a week. It was concluded that spot reduction was possible as the researchers found a significant difference between the subcutaneous fat levels of the trained arm and the controlled arm. According to Pauli et al., early research studies were predicated on the idea that the accumulation of fat in a specific body part was dictated by the activity of adjacent muscles. As research protocols and methods evolved, the idea of spot reduction was further explored using more sophisticated tools and techniques. As such, the idea was debunked through further studies.
In a study conducted by Vespucci et al., the effects of 6-week abdominal exercise program on abdominal fat loss was measured, and values on anthropometrics, body composition, and abdominal muscular endurance were taken. Results suggested that there were no significant differences between the control and active groups in total body fat percentage, waist circumference, as well as abdominal skin fold measurements within the 6-week time frame. This provides evidence against the myth of isolated fat loss because although there were changes in abdominal muscle endurance, changes in body composition between groups was not statistically significant. This suggests that there is no localized fat loss through isolation exercise alone.
Another study was conducted on physical education students to determine the effects of localized muscle endurance training on leg muscles and observe their effect on the whole body and regional muscle areas. The training consisted of leg press exercises for 3 days a week for a total of 12 weeks. The results showed no significant decrease in total body fat nor body mass. As for trained and controlled legs, there were no significant changes in fat mass either. However, there were significant decreases of fat mass in the trunk region and arms due to the higher percentage of body fat in the upper body. As the upper body contributes the majority of body lipids to mitochondrial oxidation, it explains why the leg press exercises in the lower body had little effect on fat reduction in that specific region. These results debunk the idea that fat mass in specific areas will decrease from localized training intervention.
In conclusion, spot reduction cannot be achieved through isolated resistance training alone.